Hello and welcome to Let's Boop Snoots. My name is Vero.
And I'm Heidi.
Oh, we messed up the intro.
Of course.
And that was Hugh. We are doing part 2 of an interview with Hugh. Last week on Let's Boop Snoots, we talked about Hugh's experience with dogs before Ralph. So, Ralph BC. And today we're going to chat about Ralph AD, right?
Yes.
AD.
Mm-hmm.
We could chat about Ralph all day, actually. Right, Hugh?
I don't know.
About his cuteness. All right, are you ready to boop
Some snoots? Yeah.
some snoots? Boop your snoots.
A bit of a disclaimer. I had a chance to listen to the podcast from last week, and I want to apologize. Apparently, I was taken over by a robot because I sounded so boring. I didn't realize that.
Meet boop.
Didn't realize that. Like listening to myself, is that how I talk to people? Like a robot? Just seems so kind of disingenuous.
This is my boyfriend, the robot Hugh.
Maybe I was just a little tense. I'll lighten up a bit this week.
Maybe you were nervous.
I am very nervous. This is a very different format. It's a very formal conversation we're having. We're sitting across from each other.
But you're downstairs and I'm upstairs.
Well, the way the screen is presented, it's like we're sitting across from each other. It's very intense.
It's true.
All right, we have some questions.
What's on Ralph's dog tag beside his name and all of that?
I think it's call mom.
No.
And then your phone number.
Besides that, it's a little robot.
Is it actually?
It's a little doodle of you.
Is it? Is it actually a little robot?
Little robot, yeah.
I feel like you handled all of those things. So if they were ever to describe your dog, I would fail that test. Can you describe your dog a bit? He's golden. Did he come with anything? He has dog tags. Okay, can you describe the dog tags? His name is on the dog tag. That's honestly all I would know.
Then you can say, there's a drawing of me. Meet boop, meet boop.
This is clearly highlights how uninvolved in the responsibilities of my dog I was when it comes to Ralph, which is okay.
Which is a good segue to our first question.
Yeah, being the backseat caretaker of Ralph.
Yeah. All right, you ready for question number 1? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, of course.
How has your experience with Ralph been so far?
Did you get that question online? It seems so meh. But okay,
like
I can definitely answer
question.
Yeah. How did my experience with Ralph,
been so far? Like since we got him?
It's been a pretty positive experience, I think.
Yeah.
I always kind of tell everyone that if I were a new dog, let me rephrase that. If you were unsure about getting a dog and you needed to sell someone on getting a dog, you would get Ralph. Ralph is, he's not perfect, but he's just perfect enough where it makes the experience very enjoyable. Even if I had any concerns of like what I was doing right or wrong, like I think Ralph is just so easy that it just makes it an enjoyable experience. So he's been great.
Yeah, he's easygoing. Yeah. And he's been pretty easy to train.
Yeah.
He had his moments.
And that's what I was saying, that you mean like no dog is, I'm sure, perfect.
Yeah.
But in regards to how hard he was to train compared to like maybe another dog, he's been really, really easy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are the little things that Ralph does right now that you feel like we need to change?
I don't know if I can change it per se. Ralph's getting bigger. So he's kind of getting to places that he's never gotten to before. He's jumping on things that he hasn't ever jumped on before, just again because of his size, right? So it's hard to break that behavior,
Yeah.
just because it's almost like a new behavior, and it's ever evolving. The struggles that we have, struggles is not a word, just kind of the small adjustments we have to make because of Ralph and his size. And I'm sure this is going to be an ongoing thing whenever we, as we get further, because Ralph is just still a puppy. He's only like 7 months.
Yeah. So it's kind of like he stops doing one thing and we're like, "Ah, finally, like he gets it." But now he's doing something else
Hmm.
that we need to
Yeah,
fix. So
yeah,
now he's like jumping on the dining room table, which is high. Like we have a higher dining room table and we have like bar stools for seats. So he can just pretty much like get his nose up there.
yeah.
So we need to
Where
fix
before he
that.
couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, he's getting bigger, so the some of the corrective uh, behaviors, like maybe stopping mid walk, is not as easy anymore because he just kind of powers through it. Like if he
Mm-hmm.
wants, or he's fixated on something on the road, before we would just stop and we were able to overpower him, and it almost corrected him right there and then. But because now he's so big, it almost catches you off guard whenever he pulls something, and he pulls and he moves a bit farther. So it's hard to adjust to that. And maybe it's just us and again his size, but that's those are little things that it's kind of the nuances of having a puppy and growing up into
Yeah.
like a bigger dog, right?
Yeah. Just like so he'll be walking and he'll be healing and he's doing great and then all of a sudden he just goes sideways. Like I just went for a walk with him and there was a dead mouse on the street and he could smell it way before I saw it.
Yeah.
Anyways, he could smell it. He didn't find it, but he could smell it and he was like really sniffing everywhere and pulling me and it's just those things
Hmm.
that are harder now. But
Yeah,
we'll
and I think
get
you guys
there.
mentioned just kind of the nuances of having a big dog and a small dog.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, things that like picking your dog up when you have a small dog is just easier. But then that creates it's the same behavior, you're just not really correcting it,
Yeah.
right? When you have a
Hmm.
small dog and you do those things. Is there anything that you learned since you've gotten Ralph
About myself or about a dog?
about it both? About dogs.
We kind of brushed over this before, that we don't have kids, and there's like things that having a puppy kind of mimics having a kid. So getting up when you don't want to get up to do something that you don't want to do when you're exhausted, sorry, and but just doing it because you have to do it instead of having a choice to do it.
Hmm.
So that's just like something new for me. It's part of having responsibilities, so it's just new. So that's something that I am growing. Sorry, that I'm learning about. Even though we're both tired, one of us just gets up and kind of does it without complaining.
Yeah.
What I've learned about Ralph and dogs is that I now understand the struggles of something that's small and you buying clothing for it and it just getting bigger and it just feels useless. So we recently bought him a life jacket because we wanted to teach him how to go swimming, and we can talk about our experience with that shortly after.
Yes.
But it's preparing or bracing for him growing bigger into it, right? So
Hmm.
we we measured him and he was just between a medium and a large, and then so we have to take into consideration that, oh, he's probably just going to get bigger, so might as well just get a bigger one. We haven't bought enough things like shoes and hats and clothes, but we had I think you had a hat made, and
Yeah.
it fit him at first, but now a week or 2 weeks later it's too small for him. So
Yeah.
those like little simple things that you have to pre-plan for him, and
Hmm.
I'm sure for anything that it's growing, right, like a dog.
Yeah.
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 Which I
Imagine having kids.
Yeah.
Their
Which kind of
shoes.
segues into our experience with him learning how to swim. Do you want to lead with that, because I think you're a better
Yes.
storyteller.
So we
How did
bought
that
Ralph
even
a
come
life.
about?
The
Because
swimming?
that's something that that's something that I never even thought about. Whenever we would get a dog, just to kind of, oh, we should take him swimming.
Yeah. Well, I've had it in the back of my mind as something that we need to do with him while he's kind of like a puppy. Um, I was hoping to go with one of our friends. She has two golden retrievers, so that they could teach Ralph how to do it. So, he would see Harper and Avery in the water, so he would join them, but they could not join. So we went with Ralph alone, and we went to this little, I don't know what you want to call it. It's part of the canal, I guess, Rideau River, or anyways. And we were alone. So we put the life jacket on and we brought a couple of balls. And I went into the water thinking, he's just going to follow me. And so first he went in to follow me, not really, thinking that there wouldn't be anywhere to put his feet. So he went in and you could see that he was kind of like panicked at some point and was flailing his legs to get back to shore. So that was his first experience in the water. So we kept trying to get him back into the water with the balls, with me. Even Hugh took him in at some point. And when Hugh took him in, he would hold him by the life jacket. So there was two handles on the back. And Ralph just wouldn't move. And then when Ralph would put his legs down and realize that, oh, there's no floor, would panic. So just kind of like flailing. And that was our experience. So Ralph is not a
Do you think that's
natural.
a negative experience?
I don't think so. He didn't seem freaked out.
Yeah, he was
Well,
just
he
more
was freaked out while
curious.
he was in, but
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
I'm excited to see him again in the water, and
Yeah.
maybe in a different situation where he's with other dogs and you can see that it's not that bad. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, I feel like it's in his blood. So I thought he would just kind of go in. My experience with Wiggum was that I was on a paddle boat in a lake and I left the dock, but Ralph was still like on
Wiggum,
the
you mean?
grass and
Wiggum was still on the grass.
yeah, in the grass. So I
You said
was
Ralph.
far. Oh, Wiggum was still in the grass. So
Yeah.
I was further into the lake and I got into the paddle boat and I started paddling and I said, bye, Wiggum. And then he kind of panicked and went into the water and joined me. That's how Wiggum learned how to swim without a
Maybe that's
life
how we
jacket.
should do it. Abandon him and then swim away, and then maybe he'll come catch us and realize that it's not so
Maybe.
bad. Yeah. Instead of one of us in the water and one of us on shore, and he just realizes that he'll just go with the person on shore.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should
Yeah.
have both went into the water.
Yeah. Tough love. That's how we should
Tough
do it.
love.
Yeah. Bye, little buddy. I'll never see you again unless you face your fears. Imagine.
I think there was rocks also at the bottom, and I think that kind of freaked him out because he was
Yeah.
stepping into the water and then he would step on a rock and you could see he was like, "Oh, like what's going on?
Mhm.
What is that?"
Yeah, it's been fun kind of just seeing all these new, it's like watching someone grow up in front of you, but instead of someone whining, you mean like he's just put in these situations, and almost like nature kicks in. Like what happens when he walks in a busy street? Like how does he respond to that? What happens when he sees a big dog? What happens when another dog kind of nips at him?
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that, like, you can't pretend, like, it just instincts kick in, and it's nice to see. A great example is the first time I took him in a car and I rolled the window down, and he was very curious about putting his head outside, and he kind of just like put his head a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then now he waits for the window to be open so that he can put his whole head outside, to a point where he almost wants to jump outside at times, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of see him facing his fears. So we'll see what it's like when it comes to the swimming part. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Oh,
You
for
know,
sure.
he did the normal dog motions by paddling. It just looked a bit panicky,
Yeah. He
and
is
I'm
like
not sure if that's just
vertical. It's
yeah,
almost like he was vertical instead of horizontal.
yeah, yeah,
So it was like flack, 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 flack,
yeah, yeah. It was, and
flack.
we kind of poke fun at him too now about it, just because he kind of flails a bit. It's fun to have a dog because you can poke fun at him verbally, and it doesn't scar them for life.
Yeah.
So
At least that's what we think.
it was what we're hoping.
Maybe he's
It's
like
more of
crying.
in good spirit, yeah,
Like mocking him.
yeah.
Has anything surprised you about like dog ownership, about Ralph, the training?
Um, it's more of how both of us have handled it. I don't know your view of how I handled having a dog, but it made. I think I've expressed this enough in the first episode where you've made everything so easy. So it hasn't been really hard. If anything, I've just gained more respect for you. I knew that you've always had patience, but to kind of see it on full display, it's nice. You have patience for most things. I think there has been a couple times where
It's just like,
he has
yeah.
broke you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, anyone that pees in your house 3 times, I'm sure after the first or second time, you kind of pass that, but the third time, like anyone would be a little on edge right after that.
Yeah.
But having a dog, it was a lot. It's been easy. If you were to ask me if I want another dog or to do it again, of course, it's not so hard. I don't know what it's like to have. I heard that German. Every time I told people that it was like a golden retriever, they said it's super easy, super friendly.
Yeah.
Something that I didn't realize was just the biting. So I think during his teething phase, I thought it was like innocent biting, and it just didn't feel like it was that hard. But I guess when he gets older, like that biting could be a bit more. It could cause problems. Not
Yeah.
that he intentionally wants to harm someone when he bites. It's more of a play bite, but I roughhouse with him, and
Yeah.
to me, I think it's fine. But I'm sure to someone else it's not, like maybe a little kid. The way he
Yeah.
bites, it could be a bit. It could be bad. I don't know yet.
Hmm.
Like he hasn't he has kind of nipped a bit, but not enough where like it draws blood, right?
Yeah. I mean, now he just kind of like puts your hand in his mouth and doesn't
Hmm.
really do much.
Yeah,
But if he does that to the wrong person, even though he's not like biting, they might say that Ralph bit that person, bit them,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So, but he seems to only be doing it to us.
But
So,
maybe because we foster that kind of behavior, where
yeah,
I play with him,
we're just
I
playful
kind of
and
roughhouse with him a bit.
yeah.
I think that sometimes he wants to be playful, so I kind of just do that with him.
Hmm.
So I feel bad for him at times, just because he's there's no in between for Ralph. It seems like he's really really lazy or really really active. It's not like a that's just what I've noticed. Like whenever he's ready to play, he's ready to play, and then whenever he's ready to like kind of lie there, he's ready to lie there, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
How about
guess
you?
so.
Has
He's
there
not.
anything that's like surprised you?
I was surprised by. See, maybe like I shouldn't be comparing dogs. Maybe I just don't remember Wiggum's biting phase, like puppy biting phase. But I was surprised by how much biting Ralph was doing during his like shark piranha phase. That was frustrating to me.
Because he was
So that
biting you or biting stuff.
biting me, kind of like you would tell him no, and then he would like really like bite back with the intent there and
Hmm.
like the scrunchy nose.
Yeah.
So that was kind of surprising, but we got through it. No more of that really.
It's not as bad.
What else? What else? I think
What are
that's
you
it.
excited about with Ralph?
I'm excited to bring him swimming. No, yes. And then I'm excited to hopefully, I mean, he should be accepted, but to bring Ralph as a therapy dog
Okay.
to get him like through that process. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Ralph when he's like 4 years old. Not excited, but that's when they kind of start to calm down. I'm wondering like what his personality will be like.
So before Ralph, I've mentioned this a couple of times to you that since getting Ralph, our life has changed a bit. Just kind of our routines in the evening. Normally, we kind of relax and we watch movies downstairs. Downstairs has kind of our entertainment area where we have a big screen and we have like comfortable couches, and it's also carpeted downstairs. And most nights after we're done our day, we go downstairs and watch a movie. So since having Ralph, we haven't done that because we don't want to one leave him upstairs by himself, and two we don't want to kind of crate him all night. So I'm excited for because I do enjoy those evenings where we can just relax. So whenever he's a bit more calm, I've shown him downstairs a couple times, and each time he has done exactly what I thought he would do by biting everything. And because we have a lot of kind of pretty, we don't want him to. Sorry, I don't want him to kind of ruin anything downstairs.
Yeah.
We have like board games and we
We
have
have our
like
hobby stuff
yeah,
downstairs.
yeah. So we don't want him to kind of just bite everything and possibly ruin something, or even I'm sure he won't pee, but like just pee downstairs, just kind of for him to come downstairs and just relax with us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I don't know how old that will be. Like he'll have to be for that because he's still so excited when he goes downstairs. Sometimes we take him. Sorry, sometimes I take him through the side door, and that leads straight into the basement. And the first thing he does is beelines for the basement. So, like, I think he knows it's down there, and it's almost like forbidden for him, but he
Yeah, so
still
it's
likes it.
extra exciting. Well, once he
Hmm.
sniffs around and sniffs everything, he'll be more calm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So before getting Ralph, so you've mentioned on the podcast that you were indifferent when it came to the decision of having a dog or not. How do you feel about Ralph now?
Well, if I said that I'm still indifferent now, I probably would be lying a bit. I really like having him around. It's nice, it's not like he adds a bit of flair to our lives. It's fun to kind of we know our neighbors. Wow, because of Ralph,
Yeah.
uh, everyone knows of us. Everyone knows his name. They don't know our names, but they know Ralph's name.
Yeah.
It's a I've kind of joked with some friends that because we have a dog, we know all our neighbors now because everyone used to would come out or see us, and it's almost an easy conversation starter.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah, so he made my life better, and of course, like it's been a very surprising add to my life. It's you don't know something is good until you've tried it, kind of thing.
Yeah. And he's not like a he's a puppy and he has energy, but he's not a busybody. Like he doesn't always need to be entertained,
Yeah,
which is
he
good.
entertains himself.
Yeah.
He bites stuff like he like his toys and stuff like that,
Oh
and I
yeah.
feel like you're watching a giant toddler, a hairy toddler, to make sure that he doesn't do something like eat plants.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was because of me. I sometimes when I cook in the kitchen and I've left over like let's say a broccoli head, I kind of feed it to him. I'm sure
It's
that's
okay.
not good.
Broccoli's good.
But yeah, I mean, like it's good, but
It looks like a plant.
it looks like a plant. So then
Yeah.
he kind of
Or
just
like
like bites at
spinach.
stuff. So he when I take him outside, sometimes he's like biting at grass, where before he wasn't really biting at grass.
True.
Yep, I
Because there's
know.
this one plant that he really likes. He doesn't touch the other ones, but this one plant, um, it's missing quite a few leaves. So yeah, Ralph just loves it.
It's also been just like the kind of circling back to the neighbors things. A lot of my friends, just around maybe our age group, like kids and dogs, it's been nice to kind of have an excuse to kind of spend time with them. Like, hey, we should go out and have dog walking, a dog walking day together, or spend time with people that I probably normally wouldn't spend time with now that
Yeah,
we have a dog. A perfect example is that we're spending some time with friends tomorrow that I normally don't get to, especially because our lives are one busy. So it's easy to kind of do a 2 for 1, where it's like, hey, we can go out and socialize, and at the same time walk our dog.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
excited to
know,
meet your friends and the
yeah,
dog.
and the dog.
Yeah,
hmm It's funny because I thought, like, I don't know dogs, so for the longest time I was just like, oh, it's just a big Saint Bernard. It's not a Saint Bernard, apparently. I have misled
it
you.
is not. It is
Yeah, I've
not.
misled you.
Yeah, I'm still excited. I was very excited to meet a Saint Bernard, but I'm still
And then
excited.
we had some friends over last weekend, and then Ralph got to meet that, and it was just fun to kind of see them play with each other.
Yeah, they were pretty good in the house.
Yeah,
I was expecting like more, like some destruction, like some jumping on the couch and coffee table, and there was none of that. I guess they burned a lot of energy at the dog park before before
yeah.
coming into the
Well, we kind
house.
of planned that.
Yeah,
How are you? Would you get a second dog?
I don't know. I feel so. We have one dog, so I'm a dog person. I love dogs. I always want to have a dog. So we got
You
Ralph.
should start a dog podcast, of course.
Oh my God, what a good idea.
Yeah.
We got Ralph, and he's very good. I'm worried that if we get another dog, he will not be as good. And then, you know,
That's the rule of
it's
children, by
it's
the way.
it's kind of risky.
They say that whenever you have a child and your first one is perfect, sleeps through the night, feeds properly, no issues, and then your second child is a nightmare. And then vice versa. If your first child is a nightmare, maybe because you've braced for it, your second child is just so easygoing.
So, do you think we would get a nightmare?
Yes.
Yeah.
And because maybe if we chose a golden retriever as a second dog breed, that might have been easier. But because I think that we talked about having a different breed,
Hmm.
well, I maybe you kind of planted the seeds of having more dogs in my
Yeah.
mind.
We will see.
Yeah. If you
So,
hear from
if
me
you were to
again,
get a second dog, what breed would you get and what would you name him?
of course, we joke about this all the time. We kind of throw out names out there, and then having them like, oh, how about Chuck and Ralph, or Ralph and Chuck? Again, it's more of the short human names I like. Max and Ralph. Just I don't know what breed. I thought that I knew that what breed I wanted, but like I said, I think I wanted a German Shepherd, but I think they have like hip problems.
Yeah.
So those are things that I want to prepare for. I don't know. Maybe a Saint Bernard. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, they're very drooly.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want that.
Yeah. I don't think I would. Remember in the car when Ralph drooled all over my shoulder?
Yeah, it was disgusting. Imagine a
Yep,
St. Bernard.
that's
I would have
like
to get a
all the time like
minivan.
that.
I have to give up my sports car and get a minivan if I got a St. Bernard.
Yeah,
Yeah. Showing up at the dealership. Why are you here? Get a minivan. Oh, for kids, right? No, for my dogs.
but my dogs.
Yeah.
I got a big dog. Would you get a would you
A
get a
minivan?
second dog or you're kind of a minivan? Would you name it Dodge?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm open to the concept. It'd be nice to kind of have a break in between, maybe,
Yeah.
just to
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like settle our life.
Yeah. They say that the first dog trains the second dog.
Really.
Yeah. They show the dog
So,
the puppy manners.
so he's
Mhm.
gonna show the new dog how to bite, eat plants, and how not to swim. Is that essentially what Ralph's gonna do?
Yeah. How to
Yeah,
jump on the
perfect.
table.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. Like, I'm not opposed to it. Our lives are very busy too.
Yeah.
Ralph would have to be trained for sure, and calmed and settled before I would even consider getting a second dog.
Yeah, me too.
Hmm.
Samesies.
Well, that's good. It's good that we're on the same page and we're discussing
Yeah.
this on the podcast
On the
live.
podcast.
Yeah,
Life
we all
decisions.
that is the overarching theme, though. I think before getting a dog, it's my biggest thought process was responsibility. If you were to describe how I was feeling, it was just responsibilities. And now that I have a dog, it's more about enjoyability. Like, I want to enjoy all the moments that I can with Ralph and kind of see how
Hmm.
he does things, because you're never going to get this chance again to kind of see how he responds to water for the first time. It's like going to your kid's first soccer practice. You want to be there for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want
Yeah.
to kind of see how, what he does and how he responds, and it's fun to kind of see that he's very curious. I like that about him. I like that he's curious and that he's not afraid per se of stuff.
Yeah. He's pretty fearless.
Until he steps on water or doesn't know how to swim.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god. Flail, 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 flail.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything left that we kind of can show Ralph that's surprising, right? Like,
No.
it's like the car, swimming, other dogs. Like, what else is there for us to kind of show? The basement.
The
That's
basement.
that's the only thing left that he has to be control of, is the
Yeah.
basement.
I'll have to bring him hiking.
You can bring
I'd
him
be,
hiking.
yeah, at Gatineau Park, although I wouldn't let him loose because I'm not sure Ralph knows, like, if he gets to a cliff, not to keep going.
Mm, I'm sure they would know. Should they not?
mm, I don't know.
Let's try it out.
I'll go at the bottom. I'll catch him.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything. I would love to take him stand up paddle boarding.
that was the plan. No.
Yeah, that he would just sit on my paddle board.
Ooh, I feel like that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's gonna be too curious.
Could be. But if he has if he has his life jacket, then
He
he
also
could.
has a couple people he has to meet too, like a couple dogs that he has to meet left.
Yeah,
Other than that, I think that there's
he's
nothing
good
else
to
that we
go.
can. Yeah, he
He
can
is
be on his own.
socialized to the
Yeah.
max.
Is there, whenever you get a dog, like, when you say socializing, is it just showing him other dogs and other dog behaviors?
So socializing with other dogs, yes, but then there's also different environments. So experiencing different environments, different like terrains. So like walking on sand, walking on a bridge, manholes, so that they're not afraid of these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. We
Sights,
haven't done the bridge
sounds.
thing, right?
We have not done the bridge thing.
Yeah. If the swimming is any indication of how he handles life-threatening situations, I feel like he would utterly fail the bridge.
I don't know. I don't know.
We can take
We'll
him
see.
this weekend on maybe a bridge tour.
Yeah. Making weekend plans on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't get many free weekends now, so
Yeah,
this is it.
that's true. That is
There
true.
there is something that I'm very excited to see how he responds to. So one of my close friends, he has a shepherd, Kelly. Is it a shepherd?
A border collie.
A border collie. See, obviously, I do not know my dogs.
It's a Saint Bernard.
Saint Bernard. So Kelly, uh, the the border collie, hasn't really been socialized. So Kelly, I don't know. I think they tried to socialize Kelly, or they brought him to a dog park one time, and maybe the way that Kelly approached this other dog, Kelly got nipped at. So ever since then, Kelly's been kind of a little afraid of dogs and not sure
Yeah,
how to handle dogs. So I'm excited to see how Ralph kind of interacts with a dog that doesn't know how to interact with other dogs.
yeah,
If he will be kind of patient or will he be kind of jumpy? Because really, depending on what dog Ralph interacts with, he acts a little differently to certain dogs.
yeah.
So, like, there's this one dog that uh, Talister, I think the name is.
Talisker?
Yeah,
Talisker.
where this dog sounds vicious. It's all friendly, and he's just barking in Ralph's face, where I would be so intimidated by this dog. Just being a human, I'm intimidated, let
Yeah,
alone a dog. Ralph kind of plays the close your eyes and go under to antagonize. Like he's not antagonizing; he's just kind of like
like
showing
I'm
his
going for
submissiveness.
it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
literally goes
It's
towards
like,
danger.
yeah, with his eyes closed. He's like, okay, I'm going in.
Yeah, where he
I'm
doesn't
going
do
in,
that with
guys.
any other dog. When Ralph interacts with my sister's small Pomeranian, which also is not very socialized, he sits there and teases him. Like it's an obvious
Yeah,
teasing. So I'm excited to see what Ralph does with Kelly.
yeah. Ralph met a dog on his walk today, an Australian Shepherd mix, I believe.
Okay,
And you could see the dog just wasn't sure and was like not growling like mean, but growling just like, just
I have my
don't
space.
bug me. Yeah, just don't
Mhm.
bug me, you little puppy. And Ralph was just like he understood. He
Hmm,
kind of stayed back. So we'll
cool.
see.
That's good.
Yeah.
I know there's not really much more I can talk about Ralph. It's just like having a child that you have to feed and watch where he pees and buys appropriate clothing that fits him and stuff. It is having like a child that doesn't talk to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Aw.
Yeah, he's a good dog, which makes it really easy, and
Yeah.
he's super adorable. And all of my friends, because I post pictures of them on my social media, like every time I see them now, they're like, "Your dog is the cutest dog ever."
You're like, I
So
know.
I know. So
And
yeah,
he's
no,
so cuddly.
in the yeah, he my sister would describe that as needy. He just wants to be around people.
Yeah.
I don't think he like I know like he can be alone, but he prefers to be in contact. Like whenever we're sitting upstairs on the couch watching TV or just kind of sitting around, he'll come up to you and sit on your foot to be near you, like to touch you
Yeah.
or lie on your feet.
Yeah.
Which is if that's the kind of dog you want, Ralph
Mhm.
is perfect, or a golden retriever is perfect for that.
Yeah.
But there are some dogs that aren't like that. So it's I like that about Ralph. I like that he can be that way.
Yeah, me too.
It's just something that I like. I'm not normally a touchy feely cuddly person, but like it just with Ralph it makes it easier. I actually thinking back now, like something that is different. I don't like the feel of petting a dog. I don't think I've ever told you this though. Like if I see
No.
another person's dog, like I'll kind of like touch the top of his head like kind of like like that little pat, because the fur is like usually pretty soft and pretty thin there. It's not like shaggy or whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't like touching like petting dogs. Maybe it's just like me thinking that I don't know where this dog has been, or like he's rolled around in mud or whatever, or dirt.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me just thinking that. But for some reason, I'm not afraid to sit there and cuddle Ralph on the ground, even though I know for a fact that he rolls around in his own shit sometimes
Yeah.
outside, right? But
That's
it's
called
just different when
love.
it's it's just different when it's your dog
Yeah.
that you're like, and I'm happy to kind of like pet him, like both hands all over his body, just like kind of rub him down. Where I
Yeah.
would never, never do that to any other dog. Like I
Oh.
barely want to touch another dog.
That's funny.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I think so. I
No.
think that's all we could talk about. I mean, like
Yeah.
there's a couple dog stories, but maybe I could save that for like a special update on Ralph later on down the road there. Whenever he becomes comfortable enough to go downstairs, maybe we can do an update then and see where Ralph is at.
Yeah.
If he's learned to swim by then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. I'm
Couple
sure
of
he will.
weeks. He'll be
Yeah.
he'll be a swimmer in a couple of weeks.
Ralph the duck. Yeah.
You think Heidi's listening? Shout out to
Uh,
Heidi.
if Heidi is, I hope that you're safe, and I commend you for talking about dogs. There's a lot to know about dogs, so good on you guys. And thank you for
Thanks.
having me. Wow.
You're
I,
welcome.
I don't think I even mentioned that.
I'm happy to have you on the podcast.
Thanks. I will
Alrighty.
replace Heidi whenever she is doing trips to other provinces, which I don't think happens
Yes.
very often.
A lucky girl.
Hmm. She comes back for the next one, right?
Yes.
You don't have any other
Heidi,
secret guests that
no. Do we? Hmm. All right. Join us. Well, thank you, Hugh, first of all. Thank you. Before
you're welcome.
I jump to the end. It's been great having you on the podcast and talking about dogs and Ralph.
Thanks.
Join us next week. Us, as in me and Heidi.
On Let's Boot. Oh, wait, sorry.
Bring it home. Bring it home.
Join us next time on Let's Boop
Let's boop
Snoots.
snoots. Boop.
Wait, I thought it was supposed to be together.
We did.
Okay.
Okay, one more time.
Join us next time on
Let's
Boop Snoots.
boop snoots.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye.
Boop.